this right here. The Lakers are looking for a strength and fitness coach. I think that's what it's called. Goodness God. Goodness God. And let's talk about the Joker, because I did not get on here this morning and go at Joker, and people still went at me. And actually, I said something good about the Joker, and we'll talk about this in a minute. So yeah, that's the big story with the Lakers. The Lakers really, a lot of times, they have nothing good to talk about. It's always a clown show for the most part, due to LeBron James, because his entire career basically is a clown show. And we already told you he's the clown. He's the clown. And Bronny is going to be the next clown. It's just a matter of time. The NBA, had to find some way to have some kind of ratings. I would say, because this is their new face of the NBA since 2012, and nobody really cares about the guy, right? He's not really that talented as great, faces of the league we've seen back in the day. He really don't have those type of skills. And a lot of times his statistical titles show it. It's not his statistical titles. His leadership shows that, he's just not that dude. And to me, his skill level really isn't that great, right? And, it's something to be said when a plumber, Luka Doncic, who basically has the same game that he has in a way, never needed to come down the lane stiff arming and elbowing and doing all that to get a shot off. It shows how bad LeBron James really is. It really has been. And it's been the media that has always lied and protected him. And whatever, I don't want to get into a long story about this, you know what I'm saying? Everybody knows his career is phony, is fake, is media driven. But, this is just another thing in the media driven LeBron era where they will put out something like this. That they're looking for a new strength, and is it called fitness coach or something like that? Supposedly to get these guys in shape. Because the whole big joke, what they want to tell you, is on Luka Doncic. That's what they want to tell you. The joke is on Luka Doncic. And the reason why they lost in the playoffs is because of Luka Doncic. Yeah, right. Luka Doncic did what he did last year and went to the finals. So I think it's called strength and conditioning, right? Is that what it's called? Nevertheless, why they have to put this out here, and I'm going to tell you how dumb it is when I tell you this in a minute. Why they have to put this out here into the public, that they put an ad out. They put an ad out. But they put an ad out for a new head strength and conditioning coach. So it looks good that it wasn't LeBron James' fault. So that LeBron James has another reason to come back and play. Nobody wants to see this guy come back and play. But this is all the NBA has, folks. Nobody else wants to be the face of this league. And nobody else, in a sense, has the credentials, per se, to be in the next GOAT debate. And when I say that, I mean, no other player has at least 4 MVPs, 4 championships, and 4 finals MVPs. So nobody else that they would want to put out there will make sense to them, right? So they can start over, right? LeBron James has did absolutely nothing in the 2020s. And the next guy behind him, as far as those accolades are concerned, I just talked about, the 4-4-4, is nowhere close to him to where they could be the next face. So this is what the NBA and the NBA media is scared about. That there's no more next Michael Jordan or no more GOAT debate, because there's no credentials per se. You at least got to have some type of, credentials to show these type of things. And LeBron James has been the only one closest since the 2020s. So they don't want to hit the reset button. And now they're pulling in Michael Jordan. And I'm trying to tell you guys right now, this is not going to end good. this is not going to end good. When you have to pay him $80 million to what? I don't know, man. I know he's not going to be able to bash this era, per se. That won't make their product look good. How could they sell their product if Michael Jordan is bashing it? So if anything, not bashing it, or the opposite of what I was just saying, it would be bashing past eras. It would be bashing his own era. It would be him starting beef with guys in this era to make this era look good. And I know that sounds kind of crazy, but how many times we done seen it with all these other greats now? They keep saying a lot of dumb stuff. They're saying a lot of dumb stuff. We don't heard it from Dr. J. We done heard it from, even Kareem. And I won't go back and discuss all the stuff that these guys said, but they either hated on Michael Jordan, or they said this era was this and that better because such and such. And we heard Shaq, he flip-flops all over the damn place. I think it was Charles Barkley. I want to say after, was it Charles Barkley? I'm pretty sure it was Charles Barkley. After, LeBron James won the 2020 bubble, said that LeBron James is the greatest player of all time. Now, as he pulled back from that, of course, because it was the most ridiculous thing ever. We've heard all kind of stuff, man. Even, a lot of these past players got LeBron James second. They just say a lot of dumb stuff. And, James Worthy says a lot of stuff. Robert Horry says a lot of stuff. We done heard KG say a lot of dumb stuff. Paul Pierce say a lot of dumb stuff. And the list will just go on and on because these guys need money. And you wouldn't even think that most of these guys would need money, especially guys played in the 80s, 90s, 2000s. How much money could you actually hand that dude for him to sell his soul? First, how much we were told they made. But of course, they never made what we were told, as I always said. And there's big evidence to point towards that, but we won't get into that on this video. I have in past videos, but to me, that's just the facts. So anyway, this whole thing could blow up and go the other way. And Michael Jordan could, fall in line and be favoring this era and dissing his era, dissing players in his era and all this stuff, right? For $80 million? I just don't understand what they would give him $80 million for, just to, show up and say, do some, analyst commentating that, don't actually benefit this era, giving this era a boost. Nevertheless, we're not really here to talk about that. But the fact that they had to put this in a paper, it just shows you the clown show. It shows you the clown show. We don't care. This, bro, if you gotta hire a strength and conditioning coach for these players, what does that tell you? It tells you that somebody should be fired at a higher level if these guys aren't doing what they got to do for strength and conditioning. And these guys are supposed to be making 40, 50, 60 million, 30, whatever, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 million a year. This is what you should be doing. This ain't what you should be asked to do. This is what you should be doing that stipulates in your contract, okay? All that other stuff is nonsense, okay? You should be in good shape already if you're a basketball player. If you're not in good shape and you could go out there and still dominate being out of shape, something is wrong with this NBA right here. This NBA is trash, okay? And we've heard, rumblings about this. How is Luka Doncic dominating the so-called greatest athletic era of all time? And he's fat, and he's running around with titties, and he's running around with shirts under his fucking jersey so his titties don't flap around. Okay? This had nothing to do with Luka. They exposed Luka last year in the finals for being who he is. He's going to be who he wants to be. And that's it. Joker's basically overweight too. He's not. And a lot of that, benefits him because there's no great centers in this era. So that really benefits him. It don't really hurt him. And it benefits him in the sense that, a lot of the guys in this era are just skinny. They're a bag of bones. So he just runs through them. And maybe that benefits Luka too to a certain extent. Because all the guys on the perimeter are skinny. They're just skinny three-point shooters. So nobody knows what they're talking about. The only difference is you don't have any, great centers in this era. Now, if you did, you could expose Joker on a night in and night out basis. You can expose him. Like Luka got exposed, right? But you don't for Joker. So now he gets away with it that he can do whatever he wants to do. For Luka, there's no, I mean, everybody on the perimeter is athletic and they're skinny. So he's not going to stop nobody. Tell me how idiotic this sounds. Again, they start wanting to play defense in these playoffs. They didn't let them play defense all year, last year, the year before that, the year before that. So Joe Dumars says, we're going to let them play in these playoffs. We're going to, swallow the whistle. That's what we want from the refs. This is dumb. Look, I'm all for it, but at least let these guys, let them get into it first. And they didn't have a chance to settle into this. So they weren't used to playing defense. They weren't used to defense being played on them. They were told this is just a three-point contest. And they're not built to be these good to great defenders. All your superstars with max contracts, they all don't even make defensive teams. And Luka, look who he had to play on the perimeter in the playoffs. I mean, come on, man. It's a whole different game. Nevertheless, they had to put this statement out there. Oh, well, let me say this. So you're trying to tell me that instead of you put this statement out here, you can't find one? The LA Lakers can't find a strength and conditioning coach? The Los Angeles Lakers, they can't do this without putting an ad out in the paper or whatever the hell they did. Of course they can. Of course. They know everybody. They know every kind of strength and conditioning coach there is. Hell, why, if LeBron James spent all this money on his body and stays this fit, why don't you get his? Why don't you get the guy that trains LeBron James on the all season? Why don't you just get him? So what I'm trying to say is ridiculous what they're trying to tell you. You never heard this from any other team or the Lakers that a team will put out in the media they're looking for a strength and conditioning coach. They're only doing this as another excuse for LeBron James to play next year. Because they want to keep it pumped in your head, one, that it was Luka's fault that they lost. If he played defense, they would have won. Two, the Lakers need to be in the media. It's a mockery, folks. Oh, and three, this is a soap opera. When I tell you guys the NBA is 95% soap opera, I keep trying to tell you. It's on the verge of not even being a real sports league, folks. Seriously. It's on the verge of not even being a real sports league. Like people, they go to meetings and they say, this is what's going to happen in this game. This is what's going to happen in this game. This is what's going to happen with this player this year. This is what's going to happen with this player this year. This is who's going to win the championship. This is what's going to happen, blah, 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 blah. I'm telling you, if you can't see this soap opera that they're giving you, I'm trying to give these people at least the benefit of the doubt. You know what I'm saying? Because that would mean what? It's rigged. Strength and conditioning had nothing to do with it at all. Why they lost? The reason why they lost, they weren't the better team. You need to get these guys out there and teach them how to play defense. If your lead player, LeBron James, ain't playing no damn defense, they're done. And if the excuse is because he's old, they need to move on. Nobody don't need to be carrying the dude that's supposed to be the leader of the team. The number one guy, the number 7th best player in the league. Nobody needs to be carrying him on the team. If he's better than everybody on his team, nobody needs to be carrying him. Nobody needs to be carrying him. To me, they need to get him the hell out of there and let Luka be Luka. Bring in Greek Freak. LeBron James retired with your billion. Goodness God. That's why this is why I be thinking these guys don't make this kind of money. Bro, step aside. If you give a damn about the game, there's other people than you. Nobody cares about you no more. You don't do nothing. You don't play defense. You don't put up statistical titles. You're not a leader. You blame, you complain, you cry, you whine, you make excuses. You want all these trades, it's over. Like I keep trying to tell you guys, the media acts like this guy's career is 5, 10 years in. Well, what's LeBron gonna do in that shit? Nobody cares. Nobody cares about this guy. We want to move on from this guy. There needs to be a campaign with all the damn fans. We'll fly to LA and say, move on from LeBron James. We need to fly over there to, the NBA headquarters, wherever the hell it is, and petition to David Stern, move the hell on from LeBron James. Because the fact is, it's taken away from these guys' shine. It's taken away from these guys' career. The SGAs, the Jokers, the Anthony Edwards, all these guys, the Lucas, the upcoming players, whatever. We're sick. This guy underachieved. I mean, 4-6 is not GOAT standard. It's not GOAT status. It didn't happen. What don't they get? The guy got 2 MVPs for being on the damn super team. For building a super team, they awarded this guy 2 MVPs. What? How does that happen? When they say the MVP is the most valuable to your team, how can you be the most valuable to a super team with other teams' #1 franchise players? How does that work? Well, let me tell you how it works. It worked for the media because if they knew they gave him these MVPs and he already had 2 up in Cleveland, they would have a job in the future. All they needed now was for him to get some championships. And, that wasn't going to be that hard when he's got a super team. It wasn't going to be hard. So basically, that's what happened. The media end up having a job forever for this guy getting championships that he didn't earn and MVPs that he didn't earn. So now they can start some fake GOAT debate. That's basically what happened. Because what I tell you before, when we was coming up and we watched basketball in the 2000s, 80s, 90s, your on-court greatness touted you as a player. It sold the greatness of the NBA and your status. And your greatness in turn, sold your image, commercials, whatever. Now these days, it's been going on for a minute. The media, it ain't what you see on the court, it's what the media tells you. It's what the media tells you. You see how that's like mind control. It's basically mind control. Basically mind control. So yeah, it's just craziness, man. That they don't want to move on from a loser. This is how bad, man. So let's talk about this real quick. And I didn't say nothing bad about Joker this morning. Actually, I said Joker had a great game. And, Murray did good, even though he didn't shoot a good percentage from the field. Well, he didn't do good. He did okay, but he shot a bad percentage. The rest of the guys didn't come through. So I didn't say nothing bad about Joker. I said 1 or 2 guys on a team cannot win a championship, cannot win the game. So Joker did what he had to do. Good game. Keep it up. You're a 3-time MVP. Hopefully your team don't carry you. But, you were supposed to be carrying your team. Now, did he carry his team yesterday? Yes. Now they're supposed to help him. He can't carry the whole damn load. But we done seen his team carry damn near all the load and they win. This is supposed to be the greatest center of all time. And so this guy's supposed to be averaging I don't care. Y'all care about triple doubles. I don't care about that. I care about a center will go and put up, what he put up last night? Put up great numbers without a triple double. That's what I want to see. Put up 42, 15, and play some damn defense. So I expect Denver to win the next game at home. And if they lose, and if SGA, gets carried in that game, I'm going to call it out. And actually, when the series is over, it don't matter who wins. I'm gonna look back and I'm gonna see, well, who wins in this series. I'm gonna look back at SGA's numbers and Joker's numbers. Okay, and I'm gonna see if SGA is a star or superstar. And I don't know, man. These playoffs are really gonna tell me something. And it already told me something in that Cleveland series and stuff like that. It's coming, man. Don't worry. Don't worry. This is gonna be like a Santa Claus Christmas list when it's all said and done. When the finals is over, I'm about to go the hell off and tell the truth on a lot of these players. So you better get ready. It ain't gonna be hate. Some of these guys are like, 6 years, 8 years, 10 years into their career. So something really needs to be said about where they are in their careers. And it has nothing to do with actually winning a championship. It has to do with how you played in the playoffs. See, this is what I'm talking about. A lot of times, these guys in this era, they're making money. They're making their money based on the regular season. And then a lot of times, a lot of their fans, they want to rank them based on what they did in the regular season. No, if you wasn't a prime time playoff performer as an all-time great, no, you can forget about it, buddy. you is not cracking that top 15. Nobody. It ain't got nothing just to do with championships. No way. And so, like I said this morning, it's two good teams. It's unfortunate that they're playing in the second round. These are two good teams that really should be playing in, the Western Conference Finals. And it just didn't happen that way. But to me, this might be legacy changing, depending on what happens. You know what I'm saying? Joker need to take this to the next level, man. I don't want to see Joker scoring 20, 25 points in a loss in a game 6. I don't want to see it. Don't tell me about no 22-point triple-double. Rebounds and points are more important. SGA, if they lose this series, you better put up some stats. I'm trying to tell you, man. This is, to me, this is more important for SGA than Joker. Joker has a championship, 3 MVPs. He really got robbed from Joel Embiid. He got robbed of that MVP. He's the greatest player in this era, in the 2020s. Unless SGA can win a championship and start winning MVPs and championship, that's the only way that will change that. So if SGA ends up losing, SGA's got a long way to go, man. Let's go, bro. I'm not cheering against Joker, but to me, these playoffs are more on SGA's back. They're probably going to give him the MVP, and just saying, man. I was all for SGA, and I said good things about him, and his team was playing for him. He was putting up good numbers. To me, this is the Western Conference Finals right here, because I don't think the Timberwolves are going to beat them. I don't think the Timberwolves are going to beat OKC if OKC advances. So right here, this is the Western Conference Finals. And again, like I said, I think Denver wins the next game, and it goes to game 7. And for both of them, it's real legacy defining for both of them in that game 7. And to me, SGA can't lose. He can't lose. See, Joe, I would be okay if Joker loses and he puts up, 35, in 15 or something like that. I'm okay with that. But if it happens that you put up 22 points and lose, either games really, whether it's game 6 or game 7, I'm gonna go in. And, it wasn't Joker's fault last game that they lost, not just because of the stats. It's because, you could give him some credit. I mean, yeah, some of the blame because they did blow a 10-point lead. And I think with like 6 minutes to go, they start falling apart. It was like an instant replay of what happened in game 4. But he wasn't breaking up shots. I don't know, man. This is going to be something in this series right here. It's been a good playoffs. It's been pretty good. As far as, the drama and stuff like that. I won't say it's good as far as, teams doing what they're supposed to. That's we're supposed to be seeing the Cavs go against the Celtics. That's what we were supposed to see. And then, to me, this is the Western Conference Finals. Whoever wins this, Denver, OKC, it's over. One of them's going to the finals. I don't see the Timberwolves going, man. Unless Anthony Edwards can get his act together and be consistent and put on, all-time great performances in the Western Conference Finals, okay, I can see that. Him averaging 30, 35 on 48, 50% shooting, playing good defense and stuff like that, I can see that. But if he's inconsistent, like he's been inconsistent, no way. They don't have the shooters. They don't. All his teammates, they're hot and cold, whatever. They're basketball players. They're not shooters. They're good defenders, but when they run into somebody like Denver or OKC, they're going to get smacked around. And we don't beat up on Joker. It's just the fact that people are out here lying for this guy. You can't say a 3-time MVP don't have any help. And he don't say this. Joker don't make up excuses. To me, look, he would have to win another championship before we even start talking about top 10. He ain't there. He need at least one more championship for us to start talking about this. And this will be a start right here. Like I said, one of these, like I was saying in the other video, somebody can have a legendary run based on who they're going to be playing in the playoffs. Like Joker, they beat the Clippers. They could beat OKC, and now they could be, Minnesota. And you look at the Hall of Famers that he would beat on the way, and then you would, I don't really know who you would play in the finals, but to me, I thought it was going to be Boston, but I guess it's not going to be so far. That's what it looks like. So, you take it the other way around. Look at SGA. Look at the people he could beat to get to the finals, okay? And then you look at Anthony Edwards. Look at the opponents he could defeat to win a championship. Those are all-time great runs. The stuff that they was promoting when Joker won the championship and who he beat, that's trash. You didn't beat nobody. You didn't play nobody. It's the same thing last year with Boston. They didn't play nobody. They're promoting some trash. Everybody was broken up. Everybody was hurt. What are they talking about? So, yeah, y'all let me know, man. This doomsday tonight, there might be some closeout games. Elimination in 2 of these series. The Timberwolves, Warriors, and who else is it? And then we got the Boston Celtics, and we got New York. And I won't even talk about none of those games right now. You know how I feel. We'll just see how this plays out. We'll just see how it plays out. But in my opinion, Celtics should get closed out tonight. Well, no, not Celtics. I mean, the Warriors should get closed out tonight. To me, again, they still don't have no, unfair advantage. Yes, they lost JT, but that team is still loaded. Step up and play basketball. Drew Holiday gonna have to step up. He's been playing weird in these playoffs or in this series. This was, I thought, I think Drew Holiday is hurt, matter of fact. And it's really no excuse. But I'm just saying, he's definitely hurt. This ain't the same Drew Holiday from last year. That was stopping Kyrie and stopping Luka and stuff like that. You're gonna have to put the clamps on Brunson. Jaylen Brown, you got two great defenders, Drew Holiday and Jaylen Brown. Put the clamps on Bridges and Brunson, and you're gonna win this game. And of course, they got Derek White, a good defender. What is the excuse here? What is the excuse? I don't get it. I don't know. They just, I said I won't even talk about this, but it's like they forget how to play defense with 5 minutes to go. It's the weirdest thing you ever seen. And the Cavs were doing that too. So I gotta go. Tell me what you think.